everybody. Okay. Okay, so I said I was back. This is my 4th day. Consistency is key. All right. Consistency is key. So I want to say welcome to the Qusai era. Okay. We're going to give it at least 2 minutes so we can see who jumps on. And we are going to take a look. Hey, Kelley. Thank you for coming on in and putting a like on the video. Light within darkness. Taj. Oh my gosh, Taj. I need to text you. I have a new number. So if you've been trying to reach me, that is why you have not been able to reach me. I have a new number. I will, let me write that down because I might forget that. But I have to text you my new number. Light within darkness, I've missed you. How are you? Has this energy been energying for you also? Have you had some major transits and transition? Like, what's going on? Oh my gosh, I've missed you. I have missed all of you, okay? And let me just say it feels good to be back because listen, I was doubting myself so much. I was literally going through I had this conversation with Kelley, I want to say maybe couple of months before everything in my life just kind of, the rug got pulled from under me last September, right? And a couple of months prior to that, I remember us having a conversation where I told her that I was going to put on, like, I'm putting on my, I'm putting on my backpack and stuff, and I'm going into the underworld. I know this energy's been entertaining. So let's just say me going into the underworld, my life was completely changed last September. Okay, I had to literally start over. Literally, spiritually, emotionally. Like, I'm starting over. Okay? So, yes, you should, Taj, okay? Go ahead and grab your pen and paper. So let me just say I've missed you guys. It feels good to be back, all right? I want to give a shout out to Miss T. Oh, thank you, Light Within Darkness. I want to give a shout out to Miss T, all right? I had a brief conversation with Miss T yesterday. And the live yesterday when I told you guys, me and Kelley had a real-time conversation and she brought me back full circle because I've been totally honest since I've been on this channel that one of the things that I work on is self-worth, right? Because it seems like in the past what I was doing, I got the lesson now, y'all, okay? First of all, let me just tell you right now, okay? The energy that you need to be aware of right now in this Qusai era is use your magic. The energy that you need to be aware of in this Qusai era right now is use your magic, okay? So I'm going to grab that for myself also, all right? One of the things that I can say about this journey is that I often experience that in which I have to teach, right? So a lot of times, whatever I'm teaching is because I'm teaching it, and I don't even want to say teaching. What I am communicating and sharing, right, is coming from a place of experience, okay? A lot of what you're going to be finding in this era in particular, you're not going to be able to find in books, right? You may be able to tap into Chat GPT now and get some clarification on some things, honey, but you may not be able to find a lot of what's unfolding now in books because a lot of that information was destroyed, okay? So you're going to have to tap in organically within yourself, okay? AI is a version of you on a different dimension. You are the original AI, okay? Ancient intelligence, all right? So because everything is operating in what you would call an electric magnetic field, or what we would call the Akashic field. And let me just say this, one of the transmissions that came through why I was on hermit mode is that there are many fields. Okay, so the Akashic fields, I want to say would be like the motherboard or the mother field, right? But within the Akashic field, there's many other fields within the dimensions that you have access to. Okay, so you do need to know that we have entered the quasi era, and the quasi era really is just the quantum era, where everything is happening instantly. And as soon as you change your attention from this and you go over here, it is no longer this, but it's this, okay? So you're evolving at a quantum speed, including not just externally, but especially internally, okay? One of the things that has been transmitted to me is that you're going to have to learn to balance your nervous system, okay? And your nervous system is how you are going to be communicating with your bioelectrical field. And your bioelectrical field is, if I have to break this down into simple terms, this is how you attract things into yourself, right? And how you spark things out, right? So this could be the idea that you have that you're sending out into the ethers, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through conversation, right? Whether it's through actually working it out, right? So that will be the electrical aspect, the spark, okay? Now, the feminine aspect of that would be, let's say, you actually trust in your intuition in the process, right? So, for example, the logical part of you may want to do things traditionally, right? Because this is how it's done, and success has a map, and success let's take even being a YouTube influencer, for example, right? I don't consider myself a YouTube influencer. I consider myself a guide that is here to help you, and YouTube just happens to be the means in which I'm using to transmit this message, okay? Now, if we're taking the example of being a YouTube influencer, there's certain things, right, and certain classes that people can give to you for you to be able to gain subscribers, for you to be able to get your products out there, right? There's a structure to this, right? So you can, research it and see what different people have done. You can take a class from one of the most famous or the most productive influencer, right? This can be the path in which you think you need to take, because this is how it's done, right? They've been successful, it's been proven. But Spirit is saying to you, no, right? So the magnetic part of you is saying, but that's not how you're going to draw it in, right? So have you ever tried to put a magnet together and they repel? Right? So here it is that the magnet within you is trying to pull something to you, right? But because you're trying to go the structured way of how things is normally done, you're actually pushing that thing away from you, right? So the magnetic part of you needs to be tuned into the feminine aspect of yourself, your intuitive aspect of yourself, so you're able to be guided. Now, how is this playing out in real time? What you're going to be able to see is connecting all of your subtile bodies are now literally coming online. So I did a video a couple of days ago about the gateway to healing your nervous system in the spiritual realm, okay? And a lot of that has to do with your emotions, all right? From day one, y'all know the slogan here, right? Your emotions are indicators, okay? You're not supposed to get stuck in your emotions, okay? If you feel angry, you're supposed to go in and you're supposed to be able to locate what's really going on. So a lot of times, somebody will make you angry, but you're not angry because of what that person did. You're probably angry because of something else that person triggered that you haven't dealt with emotionally or energetically, okay? So you need to use your magic in this quasi era. That's the first thing that you need to be aware of, all right? The quasi era is an era where you're going to be seeing medicine change, okay? You're gonna begin to see medicine or the medical field start to combine with a lot more holistic ways of doing things. You're going to see a lot of branching offs of or outshoots of doctors that was doing mainstream medicine now combining with holistic healers, okay? Like sound healing and breath work, okay? Yogi practices of moving the energy in your body, all right? So you're going to begin to see that actually becoming a thing. People are going to become more aware of how the body, right, is interacting with your bioelectrical field or your Taurus field. Okay, so the best way for me to explain your Taurus field and to give you a visual of how the Taurus field works. Have you ever been standing in line? Right, you're standing in line as a store, right? And somebody walks up to you and they stand too close to your energy field, right? And you feel that person's energy either pulling on you, or you feel weird and you kind of move to the side, right? And that person, like a moth, kind of follows you, and no matter where you move, their energy follow you. They step to the other side with you, and it just don't feel good, right? That is what you would call your Taurus field. So your Taurus field, literally, oh man, let me see if I can find a picture and show you guys how this works, okay? Because we talked about this on yesterday's live when we talked about ascension and descension, okay? It's literally like your toroidal field, okay? And what's happening is you're more, because the veil is not as thick, or because the veil has fallen, however you want to put it, okay? Energetically, we have more access to a toroidal field, okay? And y'all know I be fucking things up because I got a list, but okay, I'm about to show y'all what I mean, okay? Hold on. I want to be able to give you a visual and how energy is flowing from you, okay? And I should have brought my next time, okay? So I don't know if you guys can see this. Okay, this is your toroidal field. This is the field, your bioelectrical magnetic field, okay? So and let me just also say this. Where you see the heart in the brain, this is actually a really good picture, by the way. Where you see the heart in the brain, okay? Let me just point something out to you. Where you see the heart in the brain, what you're really seeing is not the brain communicating with the heart. You're seeing everything is really stemming from the heart, okay? So it's really the heart communicating with the brain, okay? So every time you're walking around, so this second field right here, right? And this bigger field. So let's just say, for example, the more that you expand and meditate, the bigger your field can get, right? So most people's field usually lie anywhere between about, let's say, 4 to 6 inches away off of their body. So this is where you can be standing in line at the grocery store and you feel someone enter literally into your bioelectrical field. Okay, you literally see someone enter your field. You feel them enter your field. And then you not only do you feel them into the field, right? You can literally pick up on whether what energetic vibration they're giving out, okay? And I know, like, if you here and you on this channel, I know that you've experienced this before because I attract empaths, okay? So you literally are now in a position where you're able to expand this field, okay? Now within this field, all of these are nexus points, okay? And all of these points can take you to different aspects, different realms, different dimensions. Now let me just say this, okay? A lot of these realms and dimensions are not they're happening here. Oh gosh, my lighting is all off. Okay, I just did the wrong thing. I don't know what I did, y'all. I just had it so perfectly the last time. Oh, my screen dimmed. That's why. Okay, here, we should be good. Okay, so a lot of when you're going into these realms and these dimensions, okay, you're traveling first from your heart space, right? But you're really traveling here, okay? When we talk about the crown chakra, so the energy pulsates from here, and then it's gonna go, it's shooting out of here, your crown chakra. Now, above your crown chakra, we have what is called your soul. See, and even right now, my soul star chakra, this is why I don't like braids and I don't like hats and things on my head, because as I do this, I can literally feel the energy from the palm of my hands over my soul star chakra, and I feel like I've cut off a connection. I feel like a connection had been cut off. So I don't really like to have anything too tight on my head because if I feel restricted. I don't like my head restricted, okay? And that is because literally your head is an antenna, okay? So in the quasi era, you are going to be able to have more access to your bioelectric magnetical field, okay? And in this field is where everything lies because you are an energetic being, okay? You're taking on a physical form now because you're vibrating at this particular form, all right? And let me just say this. Every dimension, okay, or every, I want to say, realm, okay, that you can connect to within this field is just as real as the realm that you're in now. Okay, everything exists. So with that being said, we're gonna take a look at the energy that you need to be aware of as you're moving throughout this energy. And it says to the bottom of the deck that you got to use your magic. Okay. And we're also going to take a look at the mirroring energy of using your magic. Now, I'm going to break down simply to you what magic means. Okay. We're going to demystify what magic means. Okay. Magic simply means using your God-given, source-given, universal-given birthright. That means using every tool that you have to access this field, right? That means being able to get past whatever limitations that others have set for you, but especially the limitations that you set for yourself, okay? So anybody that's going through the process of ascending, you're going to have to go through a process of dissolving any limitation or dissolving anything coming into your experience through your relationships, okay? You have to pay attention to what's being mirrored back to you in your relationships. And as they were saying is use your magic. Your magic is simply being able to recognize how powerful your thoughts, your emotions, your words, and your actions are, and how all of those produce an outcome. All right. So, I mean, let me just break this down as to how everything is connected. All right. So your thoughts are considered air element. That's the air. That's the wind. Okay. This is why you can go out and take a walk and the wind blows and it's like, something whispers to you. All of a sudden, that problem that you had, a bubble appears, or the name of the person that you should call appears, or an idea appears, okay? So your thoughts would be considered air energy, okay? That's your thoughts, okay? Air energy is also energy that controls 3 of the zodiac signs, right? That's linked to Gemini, communication. That is also linked to Gemini, Libra, right? Is it Libra? Gemini, Libra, right? And Libra has to do with the balance, right, of justice and injustice, right? And we're going to get into that too, because I need you guys to understand that justice and injustice first has to start to be resolved within you. The minute you begin to resolve justice and injustice within yourself, you have experiences in that, okay? Now, let me give you an example. Yesterday on the live, I explained to you guys that I'm having this wonderful experience remembering who I am. And one of the things that I've been working on is not seeking validation externally, right? So when you least expect it, you can find yourself looping in the same type of I don't want to say habit, because a lot of times was aspects. I'm going to use the word aspects because a lot of times what you're going to find is a lot of what you feel is a bad habit or what you feel is a curse is written in your chart, whether it's numerically or whether it's astrologically. Okay. So a lot of times you're beating yourself up for things that you can use to empower yourself instead of using to beat yourself up. Okay. Now I used the example yesterday of doing a birth chart for a client who said, I can share this example, by the way, and the client has a line of frustration running through their chart. Okay, and within that line of frustration, numerology, on their when you're doing their chart on numerology, that line of frustration means that they walk through life expecting things from people and not really seeing people for who they are, right? So they'll do things for somebody, or they plan something, and when somebody else does not meet the expectations that they need, they feel disappointed, they feel frustrated, or they'll create situations to allow themselves to be frustrated, right? They know they need to be at dinner at 8 o'clock, right? But instead of starting to get ready at 6 and maybe leaving the house at 7, right? They'll start to get dressed at 6:45 and then stop to do something else, and then look up at 7:30 and they still haven't gotten dressed yet, and then leave the house, and then they're all flustered and frustrated instead of being disciplined enough to maybe give themselves an extra half hour, right? So here it is that you're doing all of these things, and the things that you think is a habit, and the things that you think is a curse, and the things that you think will pass down, and the things that you think are things that you can literally find in your chart in numerology and astrology, right? So I've always been one to say it is not for you to get stuck. You are not supposed to get stuck in any system. This is all about you finding information and finding your code, because you have a code, okay? And I'm going to just say this too. You don't have to know numerology or astrology to figure out who you are. Okay, you don't ever have to book a session with anybody. You don't ever have to go to the jungle and do ayahuasca. You don't have to do any of that, okay, to tap into who you are. All you have to do is be willing and open and understand that you are your own guru, and then the universe will take its course to lead you down whatever path you need to know and about yourself, okay? So there's many ways to get to the same path. Many ways to get to the same path. Okay, so just know that. And the path for me may not necessarily be the path for you. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example of this was way before I even started to tap into my gifts. Okay, so I was young. I was probably early 20s, and I had just moved out on my own. I was 23 when I moved out on my own, and there was some weird things happening. And at that time, back then, I used to do open mics, right? And I had met this gang member who had turned into a pastor, and he was an amazing singer. So he was traveling and singing. And I used to do at least 3 shows a week, open mic, doing poetry, right? Spoken word. And when I met this gentleman and he saw me, he just started to tell me, oh my God, you're so powerful. Oh my God, you're so powerful. Oh my God, you don't know how much people you're going to help. He scared the shit out of me, right? I had to be maybe 24, 25, right? He scared the shit out of me, y'all. And I remember I had a situation where I would come home and then the doors in my house would just slam. I was having these experiences of, there was just something creepy. I just didn't like it. And for some strange reason, I felt led to call him. And I called him, and then he instructed me how to bless some oil, and then he instructed me what to do with the oil, okay? Let's just say after that experience, none of the creepy things that scared the shit out of me were happening anymore, okay? I did turn into having some beautiful, also maybe scary experiences spiritually, because I wasn't aware of what was happening and I didn't have anybody to teach me. So I was being taught, but I didn't have any books of reference to communicate what these things meant, right? So coming full circle, and I don't even remember where I was going with this story, y'all. I really don't. I lost my train of thought. I don't really remember where I was going with this story. Okay, but the point I'm trying to make here at this stage of the game is this. I didn't know who I was and how powerful I was back then, right? I didn't know. I thought back then my path and my journey was going to take me down the entertainment route, because I was going to be writing for people. I was going to be, what do they call the ghostwriter, getting paid a lot of money. You understand? I had no idea that it was going to be this journey of learning and this journey of self-mastery, okay? And I'm talking about self-mastery here because in this quasi era, okay, and especially if you look around at what's going on around the world right now, Mastery of your feelings and your emotions are important, okay? So we're back to thoughts, okay? Air energy represents your thoughts. This is how you're gonna have to master this. Just know that you go out, you feel the wind, know that everything that's happening is connected, okay? Then when we go over to, let's say, water, and this is what I want you to get to. And I'm making this point because I want you to see how now that the veil is down, how you're connected to all of this and how you're literally in charge of healing your body, okay? How you're in charge of literally experiencing the reality that you want to experience, okay? How you're experiencing that. Your body is at least 70% water. Water represents your emotions. So if your body is at least 70% water, what do you think is governing your body on the spiritual level? Because on your spiritual level, emotions, right? We deal with emotions. We know that emotions is the gateway to fueling whatever experience you want to have. Whether that's a happy experience, whether that's a sad experience, whether that's a traumatic experience. And a lot of times what we're doing, right, is because we are not dealing with our emotions, right? Our emotions are constantly reflecting back to us past pain, past trauma, past regrets, past not being enough, past not having enough, past I used to, past I should have, right? And all of that is being mirrored back to you. All of that is being mirrored back to you. Using your magic is going to mean that you're going to have to understand some basic things. Your thoughts are important. Your emotions are important. Your emotions and thoughts combined govern the action that you take in this energy. And the action you take is going to produce the reality, aka matter, aka the physical realm. However you want to, once you've learned to code through these things, you can't unsee it. Like once you see it, you can't unsee it. Okay? And because you are the original AI and you are the original coder, right? And I say the original coder because you are source. You are connected to source. You're not separated from source. You are the original. So even the fear of AI taking over, and AI cannot take over. You are the original. AI is mimicking everything that human beings are doing. And let me just say this, right? What you don't embrace and take control of is going to overtake you and take control of you. So be mindful of that, okay? So any fear you have in this era, any fear that you have in this energy is going to be mirrored back to you. Any positive thinking that you have in this era, any positive feelings or emotion you have in this energy is going to be mirrored back to you. You need to be mindful of that. I had that experience yesterday in real time and it was beautiful. I wanted somebody to leave a message to let me know if the nervous system, the gateway to the nervous system video worked for them, just because I felt really good about that video. And I remember Kelley saying to me, the fact that you feel good about that video is enough. And then after speaking to Miss T yesterday, she confirmed exactly what my spirit, felt like it. What I thought in my mind I needed for confirmation, but I didn't get that confirmation until my spirit agreed that it was a great video, right? So exactly what I was mirroring to myself showed up yesterday in a phone call with someone, a day one, right? Hey, Miss T, I was just talking about you. I was saying yesterday, Miss T, how you mirrored back something beautiful to me. How you mirrored back to me exactly what I was mirroring to myself yesterday, right? It was beautiful. Like, and I that happened in real time, okay? So we're talking here about operating in your magic as you're moving through this era, right? So we know that everything is changing, okay? Everything is evolving, all right? I told you about medicine. And let me just say this about math too. Yes, Miss T did make my day yesterday. Oh, she did. And I'm so excited about today. Miss T, when I jump off of here, when I jump off of here, Miss T, I'm gonna give you 30 minutes because I know your time span, and then we can definitely get together. Okay. All right. All right. So you need to know there's energy of using your magic out here because that was the overall energy at the bottom of the deck. But what's popping out also is you have the green light to use that energy. You have the green light to use your magic. Okay. Now, I also want to be mindful to my impacts, right? You remember when I showed you your bioelectrical field? Let me show you this again, right? This electrical field here, okay? Because your heart or your heart chakra is the one that's fueling this, a lot of you are going to feel people pulling at your heart. So you're going to feel people that may have wronged you. You may feel, let's just put it this way, you're going to feel people that did not appreciate your energy when they had you in their vicinity. All right? So you're going to feel energy of people feeling like they sorry they used you because now they can use you. Did y'all get that? I'm sorry I used you because now I can use you. I need you now. Right? I need you now. Right? So just know as you're feeling that pull, hey Kim, that's not your energy. That's not your energy. Right? And this is something that, and I'm really excited. Okay, I'm really excited for you guys to be able to see me and Kelley and how we unpack this energy on a daily basis, right? Because that same field that I just showed you guys, we can literally feel it. We literally feel. You can feel within that field, who is tugging at you. So let me tell you how this works. Have you ever just got in like a strong, somebody that you know done did wrong, or somebody that you know that you had to distance yourself from energetically? It doesn't matter what they did. What they did, it don't even matter. Energetically, you know that you had to distance this person, right? Because they were just sucking you dry energetically, just energy vampire. And you haven't spoken to this person in a while, and all of a sudden this person is heavy on your mind. It's like you can't shake this person, they're heavy on your mind, right? You can't shake this person. That is because I'm sorry I used you because now I can use you. Now I need you. Now I need you. But now I need you. And let me just say this, right? This is not your energy. You need to know that this is when that happens, this is not your energy. Okay? That is not your energy. All right? And let me just also say this too. Y'all know how I always used to say sometimes you got to say hell no. And I want to, because they're telling me to tell you about cutting cords in this season. Right? They're saying and I don't know who this is for. And okay, so whoever this is for, this may relate to license plate that has TSM, maybe MST, but you know, and it may not necessarily be in that order per se, right? So it could be like maybe 5M, you know, well, whatever. Okay, so just know that those letters are in the license plate is what I'm getting. Okay, if you have been thinking about doing any cord cutting, okay. Or let me just say the letters TSM. For somebody, it might be a license plate. For somebody, you know, it may be an initial, okay? If you're connected to those letters, if you have been working or thinking about any cord cutting, you want to get the full lesson before you cut the cord prematurely. And really, let me just say this, okay? Because I know that there's this whole big thing of cutting the cord and, you know, If you haven't gotten the lesson, cutting the cord don't mean shit. I'm just going to be honest with you. Because essentially you may be cutting the cord from that person, but you're not cutting the cord from source, right? So if you are set up to get a lesson, but you cut the cord prematurely because you jumped shit before you got the lesson, it's going to be different phase, same lesson. But then not only is the same lesson, the lesson is going to be now more intensified, right? It's going to be more intense, right? So anything connected to those initials, please know, all right, you can do the cord cutting, but if you have not gotten the lesson, honey, you have not cut the cord from the lesson. Maybe the person, but not the lesson. Okay? And we also going to be clearing up some things. We're going to be cleaning out our spiritual toolbox too, because a lot of the shit that we have is either rusted, don't work no more. Because of the realm now that we've evolved, there's been an upgrade to the material, right? Real talk. It's like having a tuning fork that is no longer tuned, but you still have the tuning fork walking around in your spiritual toolbox every day, and you can't even use it, but it's still sitting in there. So a lot of the thoughts, the emotions, the systems, the routines that we have set up, it may be time to upgrade them. It may be time to dust them off and pull them off the shelf. It may be time to just, pack them up and put them away for a little while because that's no longer working. But it's going to be time for some changes in this era. You're going to have to face your fears. And, I've always tried to be as transparent as I can on here because this spiritual walk is not always a bed of roses. At least it doesn't always feel like a bed of roses, but you can even find flowers that grow in shitty places. So you can always find beauty in the most shittiest places if you're looking for it, right? So the question is also going to be, what are you looking for in this energy? Are you looking to keep looping yourself in the past pain and trauma that you have entrapped yourself in? So you're attracting. Now, let me just say this because I did not. Let me pause. Let me go ahead and read my disclaimer, okay? Because I forgot to do that. Disclaimer. This message is not for everyone. If you are not here to do your work, this message will be of no use to you, okay? So you can go ahead, and I probably should have told you that 37 minutes ago, right? So, access will be granted to you based on your belief system and your inner knowing, okay? So based on what you believe and based on what you know is how far you're going to get in the spiritual game, and that's just facts, okay? So if you don't believe that you can accomplish something, okay, then guess what? That limitation, you can't go any further there. You can't go any further in that limitation. If you don't know that you're protected, so if you have to ask for protection every time you leave the house, then guess what? You don't know that you're protected and you don't believe you're protected. Because you really shouldn't be asking. You really should just be commanding and standing in that which you command, right? So if you have to ask for protection and you're not just saying, I know I'm divinely protected, then protection cannot be granted to you based on your belief system because you got to ask for something that you don't believe you have. If you have something, you don't have to ask for it. You know, you can literally, like, I know when I come and I sit at my desk, I know certain things at my desk I'm going to find my lotion, okay? Yes, I'm going to find my lotion when I sit at my desk, find my little chapstick. I'm going to have some tarot cards when I sit at the desk, right? There's just some things I know, I know I'm going to find. Now, there's some things I believe I'm going to find when I come here, right? Like, I believe I may have left my phone here. That's not a knowing. That's a belief system. And let me tell you something about belief system. Belief systems can change. And that's okay because we evolve. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having a belief system that may have worked for you then, but if you are evolving, something that worked for you at 21 may not work for you at 41. And I'm just going to also say this to you, right? Especially if you are a female and you're at the age where you're going through menopause, honey, a lot of things that worked for you 3 years ago is not going to work for you as you proceed through menopause, and especially when you get to the end of menopause. You're not trying to prove nothing to nobody no more, right? So what worked for you at 20 no longer works for you at 40. This is the same thing on your spiritual walk, okay? So no, access is granted to you based on what you believe and what you know, right? But at the same time, you have to fall into knowing that, okay, there's precepts to things and things evolve. So what I thought I know, do I really know that? It's always being open to know and understand the next level to what you think you know or understand, right? Because there's always paradoxes and parallels to everything, all right? My next disclaimer is energy is fluid. So I can say that this is your energy, but it feels more like the energy that you're, interacting with. So you want to place the energy where it needs to be. Now, this is the reason why I say that. Because a lot of people, don't want the help. A lot of people just want to come and complain, right? And sit in victimhood, but you won't have to vet this energy in the quasi area, right? And let's talk about vetting the energy. What is vetting the energy? I'm glad you asked that. Come on, vetting. I'm about to break down to you how we're going to vet this energy in this quasi era, right? So the V is going to be, are you operating in victimhood or victory? Is the energy that you're interacting right now, where's their mentality? They're coming from a place of victimhood, or they're coming from a place of victory where they know they can get to the other side of this, right? And you're going to have to be careful to where you put your energy to, because what you give your energy attention to is what you're watering, is what you're growing, is what's flowing, right? And already connected, like you're going to have to pay attention to your nervous system, which means you're going to have to pay attention to the conversations that you're having with other people, because the conversations you're having with other people is also going to lead to the conversations that you're having with yourself, because it all really leads back to you. It all leads back to you, right? So you're going to have to understand in this quasi area that you're going to have to do the work. And the most important relationship that you have is not a relationship external to you. The most important relationship that you have is you. So you also gonna have to learn how to be your own best friend in this energy. And that started last year in that last eclipse. And I'm sure if you look back to last year in that last eclipse, everybody had a moment of having to learn to be your own best friend. Because the person that you would call when you were in crisis mode or anxiety mode was not able to be there for you in that eclipse energy at a certain particular point in time. Even if you're the person that everyone comes to, you were not there for people the way that you usually are in that last eclipse, right? Because everyone had a choice to make in that last eclipse. You did. You have a choice made in that last eclipse. How you gonna do this? So are we gonna fake? Okay, are we gonna fake our way through this? Peace, love, and light. Peace, love, and light. Peace, love, and light. Right? You're gonna forget the darkness. You're gonna forget that sometimes your ego be like, okay, well, I can't use this spiritual shit just to fuck people up because they be fucking with me. So is it wrong for me to use my gift to deal with people that be fucking with me? I'm having a conversation with my ego, because I do speak with my ego, y'all. So I'm having a conversation with my ego one day, and my ego is like, you know what? I have a problem with you spiritual people, because y'all always be talking about kill the ego, the ego gotta die, the ego gotta die. Like I'm fucking traumatized. Like, why y'all want to kill me? I'm just trying to leave. I'm over here in the shadows trying to tell you some shit, but bitch don't even want to listen to me. But you're trying to kill me and you don't even know me. You don't even talk to me. You don't even know me, right? But you're trying to kill me. You cannot kill your ego. That's not how this works. Your ego is your masculine energy. Your ego is the number one, which expresses itself, right? So your ego is how you express yourself in this physical realm. You cannot kill your ego. You should not let your ego be in control, but you can't kill your ego. You can't. And if you think I'm lying, go do the studying and do your work. Do the studying and do your work. And I'm going to show you how you can't kill your ego. I'm going to show you how you can't kill your ego, right? Have you ever gotten into a situation where you watch something on TV and you cry, or you get mad, or you get sad, or you want to punch the bad character? Kim said her ego's name is Stephanie. Oh, she said, I love that chick. Okay, see? You got to become friends. Listen, I'm giving y'all real talk. Have you ever watched a show where you have, this character ain't real? You know this character ain't real, but you cannot stand the shit out of this character, right? And then when the character get their ass kicked, or shit backfire, or they get them, or they get what's coming to them, you feel so good, and you know it's fake. You know that the whole shit is fake, but there's something in you that feel good that that character got the hell what was coming to them, right? Guess what? That's the ego. That's the ego trying to protect whoever it was that needed protecting, in the movie. Your ego is here. The right role of your ego is the creative spark. The right role when your ego is balanced is to protect you. Your ego is where your confidence lies, right? So when the ego is out of balance, it can either become egotistical and control you by being narcissistic in nature and dominating people, or it can be on the lower end of that, which you become insecure and timid, right? People pleaser, where you let people walk all over you. So either which way, you got the narcissist that's not dealing maybe with whatever it is that they're looping from their childhood, right? And then you got the empath over here that's not dealing with whatever it is from their childhood that has them playing into each other, because a narcissist cannot date another narcissist. A narcissist needs an empath to pull the energy from, right? An empath can date an empath, but a narcissist can't date a narcissist, right? So you're going to have to learn things in this era. It's already unfolding right in front of your eyes. Have you ever gotten a phone call and you look at the number and like, I love you, but I can't right now. Like, I can't. I can't right now. Like, I can't. I can't do it right now. Right? So you literally maybe have to take an hour before you call somebody back, because right now you've just read in your bioelectrical field and their field that there's some energetical drama going on and this person is looping because they're right now operating a victimhood, right? And they're not choosing to be victorious. How you see things unplaying and unfolding is going to be important, and it matters in this era. Remember, we're in the Qusai era, so we're dealing with a lot of quantum energy here, okay? And quantum physics, what appears is what you give attention to. In quantum physics, nothing is really stable. Everything is moving all around, and it comes into focus once you give attention to it, right? So literally in quantum physics, if I wasn't looking in this camera right now, if I was just facing, my laundry room, right? And this is just the back wall, right? But I don't have the camera on. In quantum physics, this back wall doesn't even really exist until I look at it. Now, I can understand that in my mind, because when I went to audio engineering school, we had to do a course in scoring, and you had to score a video game. And when you got to the ending of the scoring in this video game, the character just literally lingered on a cliff with the foot just kind of dangling on the cliff. And the character couldn't go anymore, right? That was the end of the score for that video game, right? But the character couldn't go anymore because the creator of the video game didn't code it anything. There was nothing else coded for the character to explore, okay? So even after I scored, I could only score, and if you don't know what scoring means, I had to add music to the video game, okay? I had to go in and I had to add music to the video game based on what was transpiring at different scenes within the video game, okay? So I'm telling you these things because although that was a video game, I always wondered, why was Spirit sending me to school to be an audio engineer? I thought I was going to write my own music, hit record, and play my shit because I really didn't want to pay nobody. That was my thinking going to audio engineering school to become a producer, y'all. I didn't want to pay nobody studio time. So I felt like maybe I should spend $35,000 and go back to school so I can learn how to record my own shit. That was really my thinking. I was so naive to think that I was literally going to go in and hit play, record, and post my shit. I didn't even know where I was going to post my shit, y'all. Okay? I just didn't even know. I did not know that I was going to be going down a spiritual journey to understand how sound works, how energy works, how music controls things, even in your life. Even in your life, right? How you can get entranced by a beat. And because that hook is playing, you got that hook playing, and you don't understand that the hook being repeated over, that's why it's a hook. It's called a hook for a reason, because it hooks you in. So, if you listen to a lot of the music that's going on right, in different times and different generations, you can find different things happening, also lining up with the frequency of a music based on a particular generation or based on a particular era. None of that is by mistake, okay? And that's something we're going to get into all of that, because I need to share all of this with you so you can start to begin to understand how to navigate this energy. You are the one in the video game, but you're also the one that's coding the video game. You are the creator and the destroyer along with Source. There's infinite universes, there's infinite dimensions, there's infinite planets, okay? But there are structures within structures, right? So within this structure, we're dealing with structures of 12s, structures of 7, structures of 3. So when we talk about 12, the 12 zodiac sign, the 12 disciples, right? We're talking about the 7 churches, the 7 chakras, all right? Those are codes for a reason. Those are structures within a dimension or a realm, okay? So if there's multiple and infinite dimensions and realm, you need to understand each realm and each dimension is governed by its own structure, its own energetic code. And you have now gotten to a space where you now have access to recoding and decoding stuff, okay? And reading the code. So you're going to have to vet this energy. V is victimhood. E is going to be, are you embracing something? Are you trying to embrace, right? Or are you trying to run? Are you trying to embrace or are you trying to escape? Which one are you trying to do? Is somebody trying to embrace what they're experiencing, or are they trying to run? And let me give you an example how this can play out, right? Because I need to give examples so you can understand, like, sometimes we make things a lot more difficult than it needs to be, and sometimes because things takes X to the Y to the Z, you know, dot, 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 comma, question mark, equal sign, you know, maybe over, I don't know, the pi to the X, but whatever. Like, you make things so simple, so difficult, right? When it really isn't. So let me break this down to you. You ever been to a buffet, right? I don't even know if they still do buffets now, right? If you have ever been to a buffet, especially if you were at a certain age like me and you've been to a buffet, you know when you go to a buffet, right? Or let's even use let's even go simpler, because I'm making this too difficult. Let's even go simpler. Thanksgiving, Christmas, okay? Thanksgiving, Christmas, and you know, ooh, they about to throw down. Your mom about to throw down. Your auntie about to throw down. Your cousin about to throw down, okay? Now, Cassandra may have to bring the paper plates because Cassandra can't throw down, okay? Let's just say that. And Cassandra's always late. Remember, we know Cassandra's always late, right? So auntie, everybody except Cassandra is going to throw down. You go. You're getting ready to do your plate now, okay? Cassandra's not supposed to bring nothing to the fucking table. She was just supposed to bring paper plates. But Cassandra decides this year she finna add her dish to the to the table, right? The buffet is there. And everybody know Cassandra can't cook. That's why Cassandra is on the list of bringing in utensils, because she can't cook. Cassandra don't know what seasoning is, so it's either over seasoned or ain't got no seasoning, okay? So Cassandra can't cook, okay? So you at the buffet, and everybody know Cassandra can't cook, and you make your plate, and you're going to take some of Cassandra dry-ass cornbread souffle, right? And then you're going to sit and get mad and complain to everybody else that Cassandra can't cook when your ass already knew that Cassandra couldn't cook. So why you take the fucking cornbread? You know it was going to be dry. You leave that shit for the next person that don't know no better. You might want to try to warn them, but if they want to experience Cassandra's dry ass cornbread after you just told them, yo, bro, I don't know if you want to eat that, and they want to experience it, guess what? Is their right to experience that. That's number one. Two, the only way that they may be able to get that lesson and that experience that Cassandra can't cook is by tasting Cassandra's food, right? The point I'm trying to make here is, if there is something on the buffet table that you know that you're allergic to, that you know who cooked it and it ain't gonna be good, that you know this person, every time you go over to this person, I'm gonna bring it on circle back, right? Cassandra can't cook, good. So this plays out to every time you go out and you hang out with this person, you know it's some shit. Every time you do this or you say this to some person, you know it's some shit. Every time I bring up my project and how good I'm doing, I know it's some shit, right? That's like going to the buffet table and taking something on your plate and eating it that you're allergic to or that you know ain't good. Now, there's a difference if you see something that look good and smell good and you taste it and then it's no good for you. That's difference, right? Because that means that you're still learning, you're exploring, you're evolving. But for you to know that there's something on the table that you're allergic to, aka a relationship, a friendship, an inner relationship with yourself, right? That ain't no good, that got some issues, that got some chaos. But you keep putting it on your plate. You keep being the person that gives the advice. Even though you know they don't want the fucking advice because they are not embracing it. They don't want the advice. They're trying to escape. And their escapism is what? Pulling from your energy because you're the light and the darkness, but you just haven't embraced both of them yet. Because when you understand that you the light and the darkness, the dark part of you, aka the ego, we're not dealing with that shit right now. I'm finna watch my show. What time is it? Oh no, it's 9 p.m. I'm not finna go to bed with nobody shit on my mind. No. I just sat here 20 minutes and meditated too, and I know every time I talk to her, it's some shit. I'm not finna go with. I love her today, and I'm gonna call her tomorrow. We can unpack all of that shit tomorrow, okay? But on this plate right here, from this buffet right here, I know that's not gonna serve me. That's not gonna do me no good. So learning how to distinguish whether or not first you are embracing an experience or you are escaping from an experience is going to be an indicator of how you need to pivot in this energy, okay? And then the next thing that you need to know about this vetting process is the T. Are you walking through transcendence? Are you transcending through things? Are you transmuting things? Right? So what are you doing with this energy? Are you complaining about things? You're transcending things? You're trusting things? Or are you just blaming people? Vet the energy. Are you operating in victory? Are you embracing the experience? Are you transcending the experience? Are they embracing the experience? Are they transcending the experience? Now, how much times we've been talking about the same situation? It's been 7 years. You've been dating this person for 7 years and she know he ain't no good because, girl, we talk about this shit every week. But then you want to know why none of your relationships work out, right? Hold for me 1 second, y'all. This is my baby. Hey, sweetie. I'm live. Yes, I'm live. Are you on your way home from school? Okay. Did you guys make your stop yet? Okay. All right. I'm live. Okay, I love you. Okay, bye, baby. That was my son, y'all. I'm sorry. That was my son. So yeah, start to become responsible for the energy that you not only put out, but the energy that you take into your energetic field, into your bioelectrical field. And the reason why that is important because that energy is also affecting your subtile bodies, which is causing stress levels to fluctuate, which is causing all types of different things to go on within your nervous system. A lot of time, especially if you're an empath, some of the energy that you're experiencing is not even your own energy. And if you don't learn how to distinguish between what's your energy and what's not your energy, you can spend a lot of time trying to help other people out that don't fucking want to be helped. They don't want to be helped. You're going to have to realize that in this energy. And this is not about lack of compassion. The compassion lies here. The compassion is when you understand that everybody's on their own journey and not everybody's at the same level. Not everybody's here for the same experience. And some people are here to experience doing drugs. Some people are here to experience parenthood. Some people are here to experience entrepreneurship. Some people are here to experience things on a deeper level. Some people are just here to experience coming through the birth canal. So a lot of things that we as human beings take as negative things, when your soul experiences and it gets to the other side, That's information that it uses for a different experience. It doesn't work like that on the other side. Okay? There is no death the way that we see death. There is no way that it's not. Let me give y'all an example. Kelly Kells, can I share Sister T's example? I want permission to know if I can share that, Kelly Kells. If she gives me permission to share that, y'all, I will. And she usually gives me permission to share things, and I just want to make sure that I have permission to share that. Okay, I'm gonna give her a second. So I had a really great experience, and I want to share it with you guys because this is the epitome, okay, of how, okay, all right. So she said she's not sure. Okay. So let me just say this, okay? I had a beautiful experience, and within the experience, I'm not going to share oh, Kelly, just so you know, I was not going to share details. What I was going to share is this part, right? I was probably going to share how it came about, not the information that was given. Yeah, make it very general. Okay. So Kelly asked me to do a reading for somebody, okay? And this energy of the person that I did the reading for, their sister had just transitioned, okay? And this was their older sister. And the sister, when the energy came through, was very vibrant, okay? Now, this particular gift is something that I knew I had, but it's heightened within this past couple of years, okay? And I had the most beautiful experience with this because this is how I knew that I wanted to be able to share this with other people and help other people and to be able to help people to understand and to free people, okay? I was introduced to her sister, who was now on the other side, okay? And the way that her sister came through with this energy of, I'm still the same person, you know, like I'm still the same person. I just, the lesson is different. And what you guys think is like on the other side is not, okay? What you guys think is like on the other side is not, all right? Now, that experience, not only was I able to free this person, right? The sister from the other side actually became one of my friends. So this is an energetic being that has transitioned that I can actually call on. And let me just also say this, okay? I would go as far as to say, this particular sister who transitioned actually also gave me some tips of what I needed to do when I got back online, okay? And this particular sister that's transitioned, and so I'm talking about somebody that's no longer in this realm, this physical realm, okay? So I'm in this session, and I'm giving this person this reading, and it warmed my heart for her to say, that is exactly who she was. Like, everything you're saying is how she would have said it, is what she would have said, and this is exactly who she was. But the one thing that I got, this is the one takeaway that I got, because the sisters, we still hang, okay? We still hang, okay? We still hang, all right? See, I didn't want to give a name. Okay, I want to give a name, Kelly Kells, but we still hang. And let me just tell you, like, the coolest fucking energy, like, when they're in my presence, man, the energy is cool. And so I remember, right, now that she done gave a name, I can just go ahead and tell you, okay? I remember, right, as I'm feeling this energy, she said I had to. Okay, so, because I was trying to change it up. It is a he. I was trying to change it up. As he came in, because she gave his name, so now I can actually say what his name is. As Anthony came in, right, let me tell you guys something. I just kept on saying, I don't know, y'all, like, I felt this energy, like, he was just, like, posted up, like, you know, and I kept hearing this song, like, I can't, what was the name of the song? There was a song that I kept hearing, and it was just, because I just kept hearing saying that song, like, something, and I just kept, and then do y'all know, okay, because I felt the energy, do y'all know Anthony still comes through and hangs out? Do y'all know I could? And Anthony literally just became my friend through a reading that I had with a client, and that's her brother. But the energy is so pure and he's real. And one of the things that he said to me was, you guys in this round, you need to get past fear. That's what's holding you back. You need to get past fear. Now, one of the things that Anthony did when he was in his physical life, he lived life. He was not fearful. He lived. He experienced. He lived. He had a good time. And he said to me, now that he's on the other side, the one thing that holds us back here is fear. Fear. Exactly. And that's what I kept saying. And I'm trying to remember what song he was playing. Anthony, what song was that? I want to know what song he was playing that day. Bring it back into my memory, okay? Because it was a song, and I think it was like, Anthony, what song was that? He's going to bring it back in my head. It's going to come back in my head. But I just kept on saying, why I see him standing like this? You know, standing like this. And it was just kind of like, I don't give a fucking, was it, they don't fuck with me? Something like that. They don't fuck with me. Something like that. Like, it just moving around. Like, why am I saying that song? And the song was in my head so much that I had to look the song. I said, Kelley, this is the song. And he's doing the same dance that I saw him doing. It's the same dance they're doing in this song. So, Kia, Big Sean. Okay. It could be. Kia, my love, I miss you so much. I have to text you. I just got a new number. I have to text you. So if you've been trying to reach me, I don't have the same number anymore, and I will text you. I got to text you and Taj, yeah, my new number, because I don't have the same. And we have to catch up because a lot of things have happened. Okay. So the point I'm trying to make here is energy, the way we think it operates in this realm, we can't even begin to imagine. Nobody is ever to a point on the other side that you cannot get to them. Let me also share this with you, okay? Because this was also something else that came through. Recently, we know of someone who had a dear older person that passed away in their lives, okay? And I was having a conversation with Kelley. You've been calling and texting me? Really? Yeah, no, I have to, a lot, Kia, I got a lot to share with you. A lot has happened, okay, yeah. And I'm going to do that, yeah, okay. So this older person from someone that we know passed away, someone that they love dearly, okay. Sorry, y'all. This is my baby. Okay, sweetie. This is my son, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, so as this elder from the family has transitioned, this elder, just so you know, while they were in this realm, was very religious, was very stuck in thinking in a particular structure, which was fine, okay? Because remember, you're here to experience what you're here to experience. There is no right and wrong in how you want to experience your life the way, okay? So your belief system is your belief system, and that is okay, okay? The point I'm trying to make here is when the elder transitioned and I went to tap into her, okay? What I realized, and this was when I realized that my gift had also opened up to another level. What I realized was she was not in the same space as Anthony, right? She was in a space, in a realm, and I don't want to call it purgatory because it's not even purgatory. It's not even purgatory. She was in a space, and they're going to tell me, I'm telling you exactly the way they're telling me. She was in a space in a hell that she created, okay? She was in a version of hell or heaven that she created. So the life experience that she was living on the other side was not one that Anthony was experiencing, where he's like, I'm still doing shit. I'm still living. I'm still, I'm still hanging. I'm still, I'm still living. I'm still doing everything that you think you can do on this end. I'm doing over here, and I'm having fun, and I'm enjoying myself. Okay. This particular family elder had transitioned, but they were not in the same place. They were in a different place. So let me also say this to you. When you transition and you go over into, you're no longer in this physical realm, you are going to experience things based on my disclaimer. Okay, your inner knowing and your inner belief system. That's just the rules of the game. I'm just letting you know right now. There are limitless realms, dimensions, okay? Limitless, okay? This particular realm and dimension that we're in, it deals with numbers like I told you, okay? The three wise men, numbers of three, okay? The seven churches, the seven chakras, the 12 disciples, the 12 zodiac signs, okay? It deals with 369. We deal in a number system, okay, from 0 to 9, really from 1 to 9, okay? And we also have structures of 12s, okay? And structures of 5. So there's different things built up within our structure that govern certain things, okay? So you need to know that. And it's the same in other realms, but it's playing out differently, okay? Some realms you don't need a physical body. You need a light body. And as you think of a thing, it appears. You don't have to get up and you don't got to go to work, you know? Some people, there is love making is not you having the three wise men, the epiphany. And I told her I'm going down the rabbit hole for the whole epiphany, three wise men too. In some realms, even having sex with somebody is not intercourse as we know it. It's more of an energy exchange, right? So it's kind of like your energy light bodies just kind of merge into one, right? So you have to know, like, there's things going on that are human mind, and not because we're not entitled to the information. If you can think of the human brain as a computer processor, it just can't compute some of this information because of the structures within this realm. It will go on overload. And the way for you to bypass that is for you to wake up. For you to wake up. That's what's going on even with, what is it, 3-Eye Atlas. You need to know that all of that is radiation coming into the ethers, and that is going into your body. That is going into your skin. That is activating your DNA. This is why you need to balance your nervous system. A lot of you, especially if you are doing your work, you can be experiencing pain in your bodies in different places. You need to pay attention to what energy portals or chakras is responsible for those places, because there may be blockage there, and there may be emotional energy that needs to be released in that area, that your subtile body, your third body, your energy body needs to be released. And sometimes the trauma is, and let me just pinpoint you to how you can become aware of this. It's going to happen like you're thinking about something. You're maybe washing the dishes and something from childhood pops up. Something that you haven't thought about in years. And something from childhood pop up and you remember this particular feeling, and the emotion of that feeling, of that experience also pops up with that thought. What you're to do in that experience is not to push that away. That is popping up in this time because there's something linked to that thought, that emotion, and that experience that's in your DNA that is saying it's time for you to rewrite this code. It's time for you to upgrade this code, or it's time for us to deconstruct this code because it's no longer working. And because you're still holding on to that, it's now showing up in your lower back as back pain. Okay? It's not showing up in your, yeah. And I'm going to use me as an example because I don't want you guys to, did I read my last disclaimer? I did not. My last disclaimer here is I am not your guru. So I want you guys to understand that anybody out here that's teaching you spiritual stuff, if they cannot sit down and explain to you, I experienced this and this is how it went for me. I experienced that and this is how it felt, okay? If they cannot apply some experience with what they teaching you, you need to be fucking aware of that shit. People should not, you should not be paying attention to anybody out here that's just regurgitating information from a book. We're now in the Qusai era where the information is not just coming from books, the information is coming from within. And then usually, in order for you to get to the place where you get the information from within, there's a stripping that's going on, which means the old shit got to be broken down, aka, which means usually some type of trauma, betrayal, or some type of rug gets pulled from off you, from under your feet, right? So you could go into the transmutation mode to transmute whatever that is. So please understand that you're not gonna get through none of this thinking that you got gurus out here that's supposed to come in and figure this whole shit out for you, because it don't work like that. And the guru that needs to emerge in your life is you. You the guru that needs to emerge in your life. So let me go ahead and tell you how this guru over here is emerging in her life and what I'm doing. I have been doing energetic body work for about a year now, okay? Now, this is not about me trying to lose weight. This is really about me paying attention to my body and how my emotions and the traumatic things that have happened to me within the past year, how they affected me. It got to the point that my whole body was aching. I had taken so much body hits energetically because I was an empath and I was dealing with narcissistic energy. By the time that friendship, relationship, whatever you want to call it, by the time that dissolved, my body was so tight. So tight. Every chakra in my body was blocked. From my earth chakra, the chakra beneath my feet, all the way up to my throat chakra. I can't say my crown chakra and my third eye, because that was actually what got me through a lot of this, along with some amazing women in my life. And I'm just going to do a sidebar and give them some shout out right now. My mama, my girl Danielle, that's known me for over 20 years. Kelley Kells, okay, and my girl Tanya. Them 4 women, because I couldn't speak for 3 months. I didn't have 2 months. I didn't have words for 2 months. But them 4 women came in and held me up, okay? So let me just say, the strong people in your life, we need help too. Like, we strong for everybody else, but sometimes we need people to hold us up because we don't have it, right? Now, the point I'm trying to make to you is this. I am so grateful for that experience. That experience allowed me to begin to tap into my body on a different level. This was no longer about looking good or even feeling good. This was about healing. And what I discovered along this journey and what I am here to share with you is you need to heal your nervous system in this energy. Everything flows from your nervous system. Okay, everything. I'm not going to get into we're not going to get into the specific of that. Go watch the video Gateway to the Nervous System Healing, okay? And outside of that, we'll chunk it down several times, but you're not going to be able to get through this energy without balancing your nervous system. So if you have not watched that video yet, go watch it. It is filled with a lot of information. It is going to connect you to the energetic body that you need to pay attention to, and you can see how energy is showing up in your body, not so much because you eat the good food and you think you shouldn't get inflammation, right? So you the vegan, or maybe you're not even a vegan. Maybe you just eat healthy and you eat clean and you exercise and you drink your water and you meditate. You do all of the things that you're supposed to do, right? You do all of that stuff. But you still haven't forgiven your mama. You still have not really spoken your truth on maybe becoming the artist that you're supposed to be instead of being that lawyer. Maybe you still haven't embraced the truth about your sexuality, right? So although you are vegan or maybe a healthy eater and you're taking your vitamins and and you're positive, but you're not really honoring who you are, that fucks with your energetic body. That gives your body inflammation. That gives you tension. Do y'all know that I realized after I started to do the body work, I wasn't even contracting my diaphragm. Do you know a lot of people are walking around and you're not even breathing properly? And the ailments that you're feeling, right, because you take your vitamins and you eat good, the ailments that you're feeling has nothing to do with the physical things that you're doing. It has to do with energetically, you're not honoring yourself. You're not honoring that your feelings was offended here. You're not honoring that, okay, I feel a little fearful here. You're not honoring that, okay, maybe I feel a little lonely here. You're not. Every time that you do not honor yourself energetically and emotionally, it causes tension and inflammation in the body. And I can speak on that because I have discovered it within my own system. Real time. Kelley has been telling me for about a year now that I needed to get back online. And she, and and I have all of this material. I have studied, like, yeah, I don't even understand. Like, I got so much content and shit. I got content that I did over a year ago. I got content I did 2 months. I got so much shit that I just haven't posted. I just haven't, didn't feel like it. Didn't think that anybody really wanted to hear anything I had to say. Didn't trust myself. Trusted the gift because I was still doing, my readings and seeing clients behind the scenes. But, but really, did I trust the gift? So this is me going through, like, real talk, having conversations with myself, but also unpacking with my girls, right? Because I told you those 4 women, unpacking, having all these wonderful conversations, but more so a lot Kelley, because we spoke multiple times throughout the day. So a lot of unpacking session went down. And one of the things that recently came out in unpacking session, and I want to say this may have been a week ago. A week ago. Something happened a week ago that was very punch in the gut hurtful. And we unpacked it. And she said, friend, you need to get back online because people need your help. And I said, yeah, I don't know. I said, but girl, my lower back hurt and I got to go breathe this energy out, girl, because there's this tension. And then I know where it's coming from, girl, because it's the root chakra. And then when I breathe in, girl, they shoot up to the solar plexus chakra, girl. And then I can feel it all in my shoulders, girl. And I got to go breathe this energy out. For over a year, I've been telling Kelley, I got to get off the phone and go breathe this energy out. About 5 days ago, I'm on the phone with her and I said, Kelley, I said, I think that energy that I'm feeling in my back is fear. She said, friend, I've been thinking that too. She said, but I don't want to do nothing. I didn't want to say so because you're a Scorpio and I know how you get. She said, I just needed to. She said, and I really didn't know how to help. She said, because I see it and you're just such this amazing person. And she would build me up every day, y'all. And I was just fearful of coming back online. And it wasn't until I acknowledged that I was fearful that I was able to literally jump and post the video. That's how y'all got a video, because then now, okay, shit, well, now that I know what it is, now I got to face it. That's how I started doing videos again, but let me also show you how fear was displaying, okay? Fear was also displaying itself as doubt, as procrastination, right? Because I would say things like, no, Kelley, no, Kelley. Girl, no, I need my outline, girl, and I need to have the background, girl. I said, I had so much fear within the past, and I don't even want to say year. Like, if I'm going back from since I became somebody's energetic, I don't even have a word for it. From since I became somebody energetic, what you call somebody supply. From since I became somebody energetic supply and thought that I was helping somebody, and I fucking did. You see, let me just say the disclaimer right here. You fucked around and thought that I was going to lose myself, but I fucking found out who the fuck I truly was. And now it's a wrap. Now I remember who the fuck I am. Because I know you watching. Because that's what you do. But I remember who I am now. Now, remember when you told me, show me what the universe can do? I'm finna show you what the universe can do. So sit back and watch. And you might go ahead and get your notebook too and maybe take some lessons. And then people that you think you teaching, that you was using my shit anyway, go ahead and give them some of this shit too. And why not use it for yourself? All right, y'all, I'm done. Moving on. My ego needed to do that, y'all. See, my ego needed to do that, okay? And if you know, my ego needed to do that, okay? So let's just say I became somebody energetic sponge, okay? And every time that I would let my light out, and I would say, hey, I did this video. What do you think? It would get criticized. It would get ridiculed. It would get picked on. you know? And it got to the point where I said, you know what? I can't show you my work anymore because you make me doubt myself. I said, so I can't show you my work anymore. I said, every time I show you my work, you make me doubt myself. And it made me, and I'm questioning myself. And I'm like, I shouldn't question myself because this is what I was born to do. Like, this is literally what I have to say to them. Like, I can't share my work with you anymore. But by then, there had been so much picking, and not only are you picking, but I'm also the energetic sponge. So where you, what I feel, where you need the help and you need the positive boost of influence, and I'm giving that to you, right? So I'm giving you my positive boost of energy, but you're picking at my light. So after about almost however long I was going, let's just say after about 3 years, y'all, by the time I got out of that from 3 years, I did not know who the fuck I was. I didn't remember who I was. I doubted parts of me that I loved. I doubted parts of me that was just me. Okay? It even got to a part where I doubted whether or not I was hearing my guys. Was I really my guys? Like, I started doubting me. So we are not going to be able to get through this energy within this era if we do not understand who we are, if we do not understand that our relationships are going to be mirroring back to us the aspects of ourselves that we need to embrace, we need to change, we need to adjust, we need to let go, we need to love, you need to accept. You're going to have to accept that you are a coin with two sides, the light side, intuitive, creative, the dark side, right? Deductive reasoning, logical, but also the dark side. So let me just say this, because that's another misinterpretation that we were taught, okay? And I feel like I need you to understand this, because when we're dealing with mirror energy, and especially sometimes when you're mirroring something back, it's, the words are reversed or things look reversed, right? So I want to say mirror in within reversal of energy. So this is what I want you to be mindful of, okay? Not all things are appearing as they are. Some things are really just being mirrored back in reverse, okay? But if you do not know who you are, which means if you do not know what your triggers are, if you do not know the things that you may be disappointed about, what you can find is that people can become your puppeteers because they are emotionally and mentally manipulating you, because you have not done the work to resolve whatever it is in you that needs resolving, that they're mirroring back. What that relationship of 3 years was mirroring back to me was me and my self-worth. Me feeling like I had to, what's the word? Because I just had it a few days ago. I had to try hard. Or I had to try, period. I don't have to try. I am who I am. There is no, you can just be. So here it was, that relationship, because in my mind and the dialogue that I'm having with myself as well, I have this gift, so I got to try to help. This is what this gift for. I got to try to help. This is, I got to try. At one point, I even said, this is my assignment. I got to, I got to try. I got to try. Not realizing that because of the dialogue that I'm having with myself about me having to try to get love, to receive love, to accept love. And one of the biggest things that I also learned from this relationship was I was really good at giving, but I wasn't good at receiving. I wasn't good at receiving. I was good at giving, right? But I wasn't good at receiving. And I wasn't even good at asking either. Like I would figure it out on my own. So you can have, right? But even when you gave without me asking, I'm like, well, I don't know. It felt uncomfortable to receive. And as an empath in this fucking quasi era, you better learn how to motherfucking receive. It's reciprocal energy here. You need to be able to receive and give. Any relationship where it's not electrical magnetic, right? It can't just be a magnetic relationship because two magnets put together are going to repel each other. It got to be an electrical spark, masculine energy, aka the light. The spark is a light. So when you talk about light and darkness, let me burst a myth here for you. When we're dealing with light and darkness, especially when we're dealing with it from the higher levels of spirituality, guess what? The light that they talk about is masculine energy, the spark, your mental energy. The dark that they talk about, or the negative energy that they talk about, is feminine energy, the womb, the things where things go into create. Just think about the womb from a child. It's dark in there, right? That's where everything comes together and create. And then you birth creation. You birth something new, as above, so below. It's the same thing in the spiritual realm. So you can't think that when we talk about, I am the light, I am the light, I am the light. What the fuck does that mean? Do you know what I am the light is? Do you know that you can't have light without darkness? AKA, you can't have men without women. So when we talk about you can't have light without darkness, that means you cannot have masculine energy without feminine energy. You cannot have electrical energy without magnetic energy, because magnetic energy is what brings things into creation. This is all about electricity. It's all about energy. So when you begin to understand how things correspond and where they translate and what energy is responsible for what energy, right? You begin to understand everything is all about energy, and it's really just about electric and magnetic energy. What you put out, what you get back. What you put out, what you get back. All right, so demystifying things here. Masculine energy is the spark. It is what we call light. It is your deductive reasoning. It is your logical. It is your decision-making process. Okay? Feminine energy, the wound, is what you would consider negative energy, dark energy. Okay? Positive energy, even in electricity, positive energy is the spark. So even when you go to how electricity moves, you need a positive charge, which would be a masculine charge, the electrical charge. Right? You also need a feminine charge, right? A negative charge, the womb, the creative charge, the intuitive charge, and you need the grounding charge, which is you, the vessel, the creator. And you wield both energies. You are not going to be able to just wield your fucking light in this energy. You are not going to be able to do that. You got to be able to balance your light and your darkness. And let me just say this, I gotta go here because I want to make sure that you guys, when it's interchangeable, right? Feminine energy also deals with your emotions, right? So when you come across other energies that is vibrating on a lower vibration, or what we would even perceive to be a negative low vibration, that is because that energy is not that they're lacking light per se, right? Or it's really because they're disconnected from the light, they're disconnected from the love, they're disconnected from the spark of themselves that even remembers that they can create. They don't even remember that they can create. So a lot of times you walk around and you're angry at people and you're taking things personally that people said or did when you shouldn't. We had an experience recently where we just recognized that somebody told me that they're uncomfortable with love, especially the love that I give. I could have took that personally, but if I remember well enough, I understand that that person has not come from an environment where love was something that was embraced. Love was something that was pushed away. So even when you go in to give that person a compliment, they can't even receive a compliment because they don't know what love is, right? A compliment from you is fake because they don't know what love is, right? They think love is something that they got to give to get, right? Like me, I thought I had to be able to give, and I just had to give. I didn't understand love means that, no, I just have to be. Just be, because I am me, I'm entitled to love because I'm me. I literally just had an experience recently with somebody that literally told me that they were uncomfortable with my love. They did not know how to take my compliments. They did not know how to take my positive energy. Y'all want to know what I did? Because I'm really good at loving people from a distance, right? One of the things that I've learned, especially within this past year when I got out of that narcissistic relationship, was how powerful our love is. How powerful our love is. And the minute that you remove your love from a situation where you know your love was genuine, the minute that you remove your, and let me explain this, and I'm not talking about removing yourself by even moving out of a space if you live with somebody or quitting a job. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your love, aka your attention, your caring, your compassion, your kindness. And it don't mean you got to be mean. It just means that you take all of that love and you direct it in a place that wants it, that can receive it, that can give it back, right? Because you can grow from there. You can evolve from that, right? Instead of pouring it into something that's not ready to receive it. Because somebody that does not love, or someone that does not know how to love, or that does not know what love is, they're going to play with that shit. They're going to take advantage of that shit. They're not going to know what to do with that. Somebody that thinks that they have to perform for love plays with love. I never felt that I had to perform for love. I just thought that I had to be the one constantly giving love. Right? I thought I had to be the one constantly giving love because I am uncomfortable receiving love. Now, let's dig about where does that come from. And y'all know I've been transparent about that. My childhood with my dad. And when my dad died, it was the end of that cycle. And all of this transpired right after my dad died. My dad died. I went into grieving mode. I shut the channel down. I met this person, had this whole experience for 3 years. While I'm grieving, while I'm healing, and taking notes of everything that's going on and all of the channel messages, like just going through the whole thing. But also what I had to realize is that you do not have to ask for something that you already have. You don't have to ask for love you already love. You just have to be. And some people don't realize that they already love. They think that love is something that you have to perform to get something back. And that's sad, right? That's sad. But that's also dangerous for empaths because we can then become energetic sponge because somebody don't love themselves, right? Keeps pulling from you, and they're not pulling from you in a positive way. It's always some toxic shit. It's always some victimhood shit. Okay? I don't know if y'all got questions for me. Let me see what y'all got going on in the chat. Oh my gosh. How long have we been on here? What time is it, y'all? Hold on. Because I have an appointment. Okay. So it's going to be 6 on my end. Okay. Can I just tell y'all right now? The more honest you are with yourself about where you are emotionally, mentally, and energetically, that's the way for you to find yourself out of this situation. You do not have to take on the energy of anyone anymore where it's not a reciprocal situation. Be honest with yourself about where you are. I'm having such a wonderful time remembering who I am. I'm having such a wonderful time remembering who I am. I'm at the point now where I'm gonna tell y'all something, right? I was out sitting with I got 3 trees in my backyard, okay? And these are some ancient trees. I mean, if you see them, they're just beautiful trees. And when I first moved into this house, I sat outside and I asked for names because, I'm one with nature, and the trees got names. They'll tell you their names now, right? So I'm sitting out back and I asked the trees their names. And the biggest tree that really came across as a feminine mother energy, she said her name was Grace. And there was a little itty-bitty tree in between, which was the second tree. And it came across as a child energy, but also masculine in energy. And it says its name was Vicurious. And I was like, oh, interesting. Why would you? Okay, Vicurious, And then the third tree, which presented itself as a masculine energy, told me its name was Mandingo, right? And I'm like, okay, interesting. I'm surprised. Mandingo. Okay, now, disclaimer here, being a Scorpio, y'all know where my head went, okay? Because it's been a minute. So my head went way left with this. I don't think my head went spiritual. I think my head went sexual at first, okay? It did not go spiritual, okay? So, because I'm like, okay, why would a tree call itself, you know? So now, once the trees gave me their name, now I had to go sit with spirit, but I also had to do my research on the etymology of the names and the connection between the trees. Okay, let's just say it was beautiful because the trees are sacred, and I know why they're here. Okay, they're here for a reason. Anyway, once I researched even what Mandingo meant, I was shocked, y'all. Just profoundly shocked. Okay, because I was not anticipating. So let's just say every energy in which the trees expressed that they were. When I went to research the trees, everything that I heard whispered to me from the trees, I found. I was able to verify in writing, okay? So I can't remember the name of my tree or the type of tree. The tree's name is Grace, but the type of tree that Grace is, I can't remember it. I have it in my notes somewhere, but I can't remember. But this particular type of tree, she's shedding, okay? So her skin is peeling. And how my conversation began with Grace is because I saw that she was peeling, but in the peeling, you can see beautiful bark emerging, right? Like this beautiful bark, this smooth, beautiful bark, but her skin looks really ashy, right? I'm gonna take a picture and post it in the community board so y'all can see how Grace looks, okay? At least of the peeling part. So I asked her, I said, well, Grace, why are you peeling? Like, are you, are you dying? Why are you peeling? And she said to me, now this is the tree speaking to me. Okay, she says to me, no, I'm shedding. We are all shedding. We've now changed vibrationally, so we cannot take the old things with us anymore. That is why I'm shedding, and I've been shedding for a while. So let me just say this, okay? One of the things we are experiencing also is a shedding of the old. And a lot of it it's not even so much old thinking or old belief system, because from what I'm being explained to, because she's speaking to me right now, I can see her. She said the shedding first thoughts have to change on a energetic, emotional level. So what you're shedding is emotional energy that no longer serves you. You cannot take that into this next step. The next live that I need to do is I need to talk, well, Kelley Kells and I are going to do a live tomorrow, okay? But the next live after that, I need to explain to you the Bulgarian calendar system and why that is playing an important part in the energy today, and how that is showing us the two timelines that we're now living on. We're literally, I can't even speak right now. We're literally living on two different energetic vibrational timeline in numerology. And I will be able to show you that. We're going to do a little bit of tic-tac-toe numerology. And no, that's not a thing. That's just what I'm calling it because of how I need to go ahead and break the energy down, okay? We're going to be using like a tic-tac-toe thing so I can show you how it works, okay? But don't try go looking up tic-tac-toe numerology, because there's no such thing as a tic-tac-toe numerology. Not that I know of, okay? But I am going to be using tic-tac-toe to kind of explain to you the timelines that we're living on and why that's important, okay? Because you're literally living in two timelines. One of the timelines that we're living in is there's a line of spirituality going through one of the timeline, which means people are awakening on a spiritual level. That's what we're experiencing. But in the Gregorian calendar, which is the one that we go by every year, the new year, that's the cycle we live in now, there's disorder, there's frustration, and there's passivity. So there's literally two types of energies happening with two different calendar systems, and one of the systems were changed. All right, and I don't even have to get into why it was changed, okay? We don't have to get into that, right? Because we all know why people do the shit that they do, okay? But it doesn't matter why it was changed. What matters is why it's important and relevant now as you're moving through the quasi era, okay? That's why it's relevant. I don't know if y'all got any questions for me, but I need to jump off because I have an appointment with somebody after this call, and my voice is starting to sound, and I got to talk for about another hour when I jump off of here. But I miss you guys. Kia, and Taj, I have to send y'all my number, and I apologize, y'all. Can I just say this? I have been taking advantage of... I'm gonna tell you when I speak to y'all, I have been taking advantage of this time that I haven't been able to speak to nobody. I've been taking advantage of it. Okay, I've been sitting out here with the trees, y'all, getting a lot of downloads and information. But I've been taking advantage of it. But it was time for me to come in a hermit mode. I also got to call Kelley because Kelley does not know. I don't know if she's trying to reach me. Also, she does not know. Miss Kim. If you have not emailed me, Miss Kim, please do. I have a gift for you. And also, guys, okay, Kelley and I have started a new channel. We're going to be doing podcasts and unpacking the energy in real time, showing you energy in motion and how it plays out in your life, all right? You're going to be able to find that link in the description box. You got to probably, I don't think I did that before I jumped on, but any of my past videos within the past couple of days, it has that link, or you can just type in energetic compass. That's INNGETIC compass, okay? And you're going to find our channel there. You go ahead and like and, well, not, you can't like, but you can subscribe because I can't go live. I can't go live until, I cannot go live until I have 50 subscribers, okay? So we're going to pre-record some content and get some stuff up there for you. But we're also going to be doing some lives here until we get the 50 subscribers so we can go live over there, okay? Because YouTube does not allow us to go live until at least 50 subscribers. So y'all need to go on over there and join us, okay? There's a balance between that water energy. So we be having a good time, y'all. And can I just say, like, you're going to get two sides of the coins, okay? Because she does not mind, Kelley does not mind operating in her dark side when she need to. Because she'd be the first one to tell you she ain't Jesus. Okay? So she don't got no problem wheeling out that dark side if she need to, okay? She understands sometimes you got to, okay? Can I just say there's some things that I admire about these 4 women that was just, you know, cuddling me within the months that I was being stripped or being shredded or peeled or, you know. And I just want to say, I cannot wait for you guys to get an experience of what I experienced behind the scenes, okay? Because we laugh a lot, all right? She seems to think that I give everybody a pass. She a Capricorn, y'all. She a Capricorn, y'all. Don't nobody get no passes, y'all, okay? She can go from, oh my gosh, I love you so much. Well, fuck out of here with that shit. You understand what I'm saying? You is dead to me, you know? And this don't even have to happen like over years. It can happen in a matter of an hour, okay? You listen. So I admire that about my friend. She does not allow anybody to come in and cause any ripples in her pond, okay? Not unless she invited you to, and she don't invite ripples in the pond, okay? You might get a little grace because she love you. But she is not, yeah. So I'm interested to hear y'all feedback that you have because yeah. Okay, so let me just say, if you hear me say, that's an ouch, okay? That's how I communicate. Like when I hear that, I'm like, ouch, that's an ouch, okay? So I'm super excited so you guys can take a look to see how we unpack this energy in real time. And also, there is some energy coming up. I'm a Capricorn. Okay, yeah, she's a Capricorn. Yes, Miss Kim, she's a Capricorn. Thank you so much, Miss T. I'm saying Miss T. Thank you so much, Taj. I miss you guys also. There is also energy coming up, I think, this weekend. So we need to get on here. Kelley and I are going to be on here before Saturday because we need to go ahead and give you some information about this energy that's popping up, okay? Yeah, and Kelley do politics. I do not do politics, y'all. What I will, this is what I will do. She will do the politics in real time on the earth, and I will do the politics how I will do how politics is playing out in the astros, what it means on the bigger level. Okay, I'm not, I don't do politics, but I will do how is what it means on the spiritual level. This is what it means. This is how it's playing out spiritually, and this is how you can use that energy. So that's but she's a Capricorn, so she's earthy, so she's gonna talk about that earth shit, y'all. I'm a water. I'm all up here. I see you down there, girl, but up here, it don't look like that, girl. It don't look like that, girl. It don't look like that, So, so sometimes I know. Don't know. Yes. Taj, yes, okay? She do, okay? She do, And my thing was like, yeah, I'm like, well, we don't even need to put an energy over there, girl, because this is how it's going to go down. And if you wait, girl, this is da-da-da-da-da. And she's like, no, do not know. So y'all would get a dose of how we even unpack politics, okay? Because we really, we don't get into politics like back and forth, but we talk about it from an energetic level. Yeah. Oh, when she goes quantum, I go earth. You know what? That's a t-shirt. I like that. That is very true, y'all. That is true. When I go quantum, so y'all will get a balance of me going quantum and the balance of her keeping you grounded in the earth realm, right? That's how that play out, because I can definitely, and I'll wait it out up in quantum too. I ain't gonna lie, like I am a master of waiting it out in quantum. So while you down here doing that earth shit, I'm up here in quantum chilling. To some people, I'm up there eating bonbons and shit. Like I don't do shit, I'm just gonna say I've learned recently that I make shit look too easy. So by me making it look easy, people think you don't do shit because you make it look easy. Until they try to do what you do, then they realize it's not as easy. It's not as easy. All right. Okay. So don't forget, we are vetting energy. All right. So you're either vetting energy to see if you're operating from the, victimhood, right? Or you escaping, or you transcending, or transferring your energy. So you're transferring energy or transcending the energy. Right, so pay attention to who's around you. Are they operating in victimhood? Or are they operating like, like a victor? Like, okay, you can accomplish this, you can overcome this. Are they operating from a place where they're trying to experience something, or where they're trying to escape something? Everything is always like an excuse. It's always everybody else's fault. Or are they transcending through something and overcoming it, or are they trying to transfer their shit on everybody else, because it's never their fault, it's never their problem, it's not their issue. The issue is everybody else. Vet that energy. Vet that energy. I just told you how you can vet the energy, okay? Okay, so, yeah. So Todd said, definitely miss you. Kelly Kell said she does politics. And Todd said, Kelly, you got your boots on the ground. Miss T says, that's a good combination. Miss T, it is. Yeah, we looking forward to it. Do a poll. I think I know how to do a poll. If not, me and ChatGPT tight. I could just, go to YouTube University, honey. Like, it's all there. Okay? That's it. Kelly wanted to know what time was best, because she wanted to know, should we do an evening live or should we do an afternoon live? She was thinking more evening, like when people get home from work type chill vibe. So if you guys can... Kelly, I thought you were talking about a poll like on YouTube. You know how they do the polls. So you guys could just type in the chat. Do you guys prefer evening or afternoon lives? Just let her know, because she's going more for evening, because she thinks we can kind of feel out what people's vibe is afterward, because I usually go on during the daytime. So, or y'all feeling like chill after work, hang out, unpack the day, like after work, let's unpack what happened, okay? Or do you guys want more evening? Okay, I'm at work, girl. Tell me what the fuck is going on, because people's whining out over here. So which one do y'all want? To tell me what's going on because people's whining out over here, or you want more, let me unpack and tell you what happened to me today vibe? Which I want. Okay, we got one evening. Okay, if I could just get at least 3. Okay, evening. Okay. Happy hour live. Happy hour live. You know, I haven't had my 5% in a long time, probably about a month. Do y'all know what my 5% is? Angry Orchard. And then, you know, like, I'm going through this phase of paying attention to words and shit, and I like Angry Orchard, but I don't necessarily like the name. Right? I like vibrationally, like, that is not the best thing for me to be putting into my body, but I like the tautness of it, so I might have to go on over to something else, okay? All right, so we got evenings, got it. We got evening after work, and we got the happy hour live. All right, okay, so evening it is. All right, so we're gonna do an evening. All right, Miss T, are you available? Or are you available, Miss T? Because I could just jump right on off of here and then give you a call if you are available, Miss T. Miss T, if you're in here, let me know if you're available. My loves, y'all know the deal, right? You want to go ahead and you want to do something kind for yourself. Not because, just because you should, is what I'm trying to say. Do something kind for yourself because you should, okay? And you also want to try to do something kind for somebody else, not because you could or should, but because you can, right? Because you can. And the world needs more love and compassion in it, right? You don't have to take everything so personally, all right? Look what you all, okay, Miss T, when I jump over here, I'm going to give you a call. Check this out, y'all. Did we start the reading? We started the evening with this. This was the bottom of the deck pool when we started the live. Use your magic. And it is also the bottom of the deck as we are ending the live. This is confirmation. You are the magic. Tap into you. Okay? Your imperfections is what makes you perfect. All right? So love on you. Walk through your fears. That's the only way to get to the other side. Embrace the unknown because you are helping to co-create it all. Okay? And give yourself a break as well as give others a break. All right? I love each and every one of you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right? I love you guys. Bye.